Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Thursday edition of 5 Minutes with Phil, and I trust that you're doing well. And thanks for your patience as we continue to kind of experiment a little bit with some new things that we are trying to do with this platform, and kind of going with a multi-camera approach. And you let us know what you think of it. Okay. Anyway. We are going to pick up where we left off, okay? We are going to continue with Psalm chapter 40. Now, if you remember, the psalmist is he's writing, here we go, he's praying about what is taking place in his life, and he's asked the Lord to hear him when he cries out. And we left off where the Lord would take him out of the mud and the mire and set his feet on a rock so that he could stand. That is awesome. But let's see where this leaves us now. Okay, take a look at the screen. Psalm chapter 40, beginning in verses 1 and going to verse 3. Here we go. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and he heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and the mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. Here's what we're going to look at today in the underlying part. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see him and fear the Lord and put their trust in him. And again, we're going to look at the part that says, he put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Okay, so the psalmist has had this great experience where God has rescued him from whatever pit he was in, right? From whatever slimy pit it was that he was going through. And now, after the fact, after this has taken place, he says that God has put a new song in his heart, a hymn of praise to God. Now, what's he doing here? He's given God the praise and the glory for what he's done. This should be the normal response to when God does anything for us is this. We should be willing to praise God for it. We should be willing to give God all the glory and give God all the credit for what he's done. And I think a lot of people I've met that they forget about this because they're so focused on getting their answer that they just kind of walk in the answer and that's about it. And I think the Lord would try to remind us that, hey, there's more to this here. Give me praise here. Give me credit. Now, why is that important? Is it because God's some kind of egomaniac that demands our worship? No, not at all. God knows that we need our worship of him. He doesn't need our worship. God doesn't need anything. And God's not trying to hoard all the credit for what's done. What's important for us is to realize that this truly is a work of the Lord. It wasn't through something that we did, but it's through something that God did. And the more we worship God, the more credit God's going to get for the great things that he's done. And I fear sometimes that when we are slow to give God the credit, when we are slow to give God the glory for what he has done in our lives, then what takes place is the fact that we tend to take the credit that God deserves. Or maybe we just chalk it up as a mere coincidence or it was just a matter of time. Let's understand that any good thing that takes place in our lives, God needs our worship because we need our worship of God. We need to give him the credit. So I really want to encourage you today, if there's something that God has done for you recently, could you take time today and just say, Lord, I want to thank you for what you've done. I want to thank you for this. Every good thing that happens in your life is from God. I hope you realize that. And so give the Lord praise and give the Lord credit for that. And I think God will honor that, and you will grow as a follower of Jesus Christ. Okay? Gotta let you go. That was the alarm telling me my 5 minutes are up. Love you. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.